Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM Reacts, episode 4 and 43. And today, we're going to be reacting to Purple Roads, episode 17. Danny, Bird Crew will pronounce it for Danny, Joe's Treehouse. And we're going to react to this begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, what's going on? It's loading right now. What's going on? I'm liking this so far. Okay.
I'm Carrie Stinson, and
down.
my journey through life has been quite an adventure. For over 20 years, I played Barney the Dinosaur on tour and 7 seasons of the hugely popular TV show Barney and Friends. Now my journey is to bring together friends and guests from all over the entertainment world for inspiring and at times amusing behind-the-scenes conversation. I'm Carrie Stinson, and this is Purple Roads.
Very interesting. Very interesting, but that's just me. Sorry, I have Pringles in my mouth. But anyway, let's continue on.
Can you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? It's a really
Wow.
day. There's so much to see, there's so much to do. Nature's calling you. From the blades on the grass to the leaves of the trees, everything's calling you. Pretty please, come and discover. Look in the cupboard, what's on your every rug. Can you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? It's a really great day. There's so much to see, there's so much to do. Nature's calling you. From the time you were a baby till the time you grow old, each step you take will help you learn and grow. I'm asking lots of questions, finding different answers. Best way to learn is play. So can you come out and play? It's a really great day. Nature is calling you. Hi, little birds. How are you today? Can you see what's in the old high bucket?
Wow.
Hi, by the way.
Wow.
Let's see what's in here. What's this?
Barney Dinosaur.
It's a purple dinosaur. Why would we have a purple dinosaur today, little birds? Hey, Carrie, why do you think we have a purple dinosaur?
Well, I can only guess it has something to do with my favorite purple dinosaur.
Wow.
Barney. How are you, Daddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome all of the Purple Road fans to a very special episode with Danny Labrecque from Danny Joe's Treehouse. You know, we're all caught inside right now, but the beauty of Skype is that we can go ahead and do this interview. So it's so exciting, and I'm thrilled to have you here, Danny.
I'm really proud to be here. Thank you so much. You have so many wonderful guests, and I feel, to quote my grandpa, way over my skis.
Wow.
But it's an honor. It really is. And I love that you just brought up how I think it's good to talk about stuff. We're all inside right now with the coronavirus and a good solid weekend in our country. And this past week I've just been super inspired. I grew up like you and so many others with real human beings that would talk through the passive television screen and let us know that we matter and it's okay, and so many different hosts and puppets and characters, and we don't have as many of those types of shows anymore. But this past week, I've been trying to do it for a long time. I have been doing it for a long time in my own way.
Wow.
And this past week, so many people are using these interactive screens coming to the table. Artists and authors and singers and parents and educators. My parents, or my children's educators have been doing online learning, remote learning, and just truly connecting through the screen. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's for everything that's going on. I think that's a really positive part of it.
Oh, I do too, and I think it's very important, right? We still need to have interaction. We need to talk to people. We need to be able to learn and grow, and you know, the biggest thing is smile, which I can't stop doing every time I hear you play that song. I love your theme song. How can you not smile hearing that?
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's a lot of kids have helped me over the years to create songs like that.
Wow.
I've got my own ideas, but the way that I work is I listen really closely to the kids that I work with in the classroom and online, and then they help me to create these stories through the language of play.
Well, I want to start off this interview. Tell us about Danny Joe's Treehouse, what you're doing, where it came from, and where it is now.
Sure. Well, like we were just saying a moment ago, when I was a kid, I had a lot of screen caregivers through the TV, and there was a prolonged period in my childhood where my mom was really sick. She had cancer for years and years and years and years, and it became other things, and we needed a little bit of backup. There was depression in our house, and thankfully we had public television, and we had shows like Sesame Street and Captain Kangaroo. Reading Rainbow, and the one that was closest to my heart, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And
sorry, I was reacting and eating at the same time, but Mr. Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and Time Kangaroo Rainbow. If Rogers remix, it's gonna be amazing. Continue on.
And so many others, but it's a familiar story. It felt like that wonderful man was talking to me, and not just Mr. Rogers in that series, but all of the adult caregivers. I had a sense then, and I'm so happy to find out later on as an adult that they were real. They really did care about us.
Yes.
And having someone to say you matter and it's okay, and to play and be silly sometimes and serious sometimes.
Right.
That made a world of difference in my life. It really gave me some extra tools. And as I got older, and I was homeschooled before it was called homeschooling. It was homesteading back in the late 70s, early 80s. My parents were real hippies.
Okay.
And my mom is passed now.
Wow.
She, I'm positive she's laughing and loving this. So she used to say, Danny Joe, one day everyone is going to be doing this. Because I would feel insecure sometimes and lonely, and it's really hard to connect because it wasn't always.
Hang on. Bye. Love you too, Piggy. Continue on.
As cool and popular as it has become in recent years. And you couldn't have predicted our current times, but everyone is literally homeschooling right now.
Right.
And I think she would love that. But with that, at that time, we were also living up in New Hampshire and up in the mountains, and it was pretty rural, and we didn't have a lot of close by neighbors. So I was a pretty lonely kid. I had my kid sister. There's a 6-year difference. We were very, very close. But having screen interaction in a positive way, not all the time, but
right.
a little, some other friends that could influence my play and encourage my play. I played pretend a lot. And that pretend play went into the arts as I got older. I studied dance for years and years, ballet and tap and jazz and ballroom. That's where I started to socialize more. And then I was always into visual arts and theater.
Wow.
and I became a song and dance man. Eventually, studied visual arts at the Art Institute of Chicago. Um, and then as I was an actor in Chicago, we had moved there in the high school years. I got hungry. I was an artist. I was like, hey,
It happens.
it happens, right? And I always enjoyed working with kids. And there was a job posted in the newspaper for a assistant art teacher, just someone to help prepare projects. So I went in to do that, and I got hired. And about a week into the preschool, one of the teachers had to leave at the beginning, and he happened to be a male teacher. And the director of that school thought, well, it would be an easier transition if we had another male come in. So I was an assistant teacher, and they helped me to start taking classes in early childhood development. And I fell in love with it. And everything that I had learned beforehand just fit. And one day, this is the moment where I really fell in love with it. And pardon me, and it pulls Mr. Rogers into it and other.
Well, we're a huge fan of that, and we just had Francois Clemens on. So we are such a huge fan of Mr. Rogers. I grew up watching him as well. So I love that, because when I saw you for the first time, I got that feel of watching a little bit of Danny Joe's. So I definitely see the influence.
Well, thank you. And that's what it is. It is an influence. It was so long where I was trying to be a version of him. In fact, what I was about to say was I was left in the preschool classroom by myself because the real teacher needed to use the restroom. She said, you're gonna, and I was not comfortable with it at that time. She's like, I'm gonna be right back. It's fine. Just it was free time. Everyone was playing the different sections. Just keep an eye out. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
So. And her name was Kathy Paswell.
Wow.
And she went up the hall and left me there. And it was like a scene out of the movie. Like every little kid just turned around and looked at me, and just chaos, just chaos. It was just the way I was proceeding. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And I just channeled my inner Fred. I didn't study at that point early childhood development, but I knew if I started raising my voice, it would just create more chaos.
Right.
So I got talking really soft, and I just slowly worked from group to group, and I got down low and I made eye contact. And I messed up a bunch too. I mean, it wasn't a natural. Like I made plenty of mistakes. But what I found out after was, as I was like struggling to maintain order and happiness, that Kathy had come back from it didn't take her that long to go to the bathroom. Kathy was there, the director Nancy was there, and they were peeking through the little windows, and the doors to the bathroom. They were peeking through the window, just laughing at me.
Oh my!
Look at the rookie, And but then afterwards, what was great about Kathy and Nancy, they came to me and they were like, no, here's what we saw, and here's what you can improve on, and here's what you can learn from, and here are the classes you are going to start taking, so you can get better at this, because there is something there, and you should pursue this. So once I started doing that, I fell in love with early childhood development and went back to school for that. And eventually I got into behavioral science, relationships in general, human relationships. And then I started looking at the screens, the stuff that the kids I was teaching at that time were watching. And there was really good stuff out there. But there's so many cartoons. There's still so much stuff, especially now coming through.
Yep, if you watch this remix for you, continue on.
Down the pipeline is one of my mentors says, just so much stuff.
Sure.
But not a whole lot of human beings. Like there are some, and I know a lot of them, but even they, to a degree, have to do this variation of who they are.
Right.
And I always thought, well, why? The people we grew up with didn't do that. Not just Fred, Bob Keeshan and Francis Horwich. If you go way back, if you really start doing your research, School and Howdy Doody. I know that was definitely an exaggeration, but The Friendly Giant.
Sure.
So many. Sherry Lewis and Friends.
Right.
Joe Perry. It's an endless list of national folks, and they kind of that type of engagement kind of faded away. and I kept trying to pitch that. I started writing out tons of episodes, different genre ideas, and trying to get into the system. And the story that I kept hearing was, it doesn't work anymore. It's about distribution. It's about measurable outcome and validity. And with social emotional stuff, that's reflective of present day experiences. There's a risk of dividing audience, and there are people in the industry who push back on that idea, but I think there's truth to it. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I've talked to you. We've talked to this off camera before. Barney would have never have happened.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Cheryl Leach's father-in-law, who ultimately ended up paying for the whole thing. Because no one believed in this purple dinosaur. No one believed in it being shot in Allen, Texas, and all the things we were doing. And so we just did it ourselves.
Yeah.
And believed in the idea that we had. And, once it took us getting it in a blockbuster video and getting it out there nationwide and getting it in local video stores that someone in PBS found it. And they saw the only reason that we got on PBS was because they saw the reaction of the children.
Wow.
Right? If we would have pitched that to the bosses, it wouldn't have happened. But all of a sudden, the bosses saw their audience, couldn't stop watching it, and thought, well, wait a minute, there's something here. So a lot of times it's really about that audience.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like what you're saying is not just like the numbers of I think like especially today on these screens like this, it's all about like and subscribe.
Yeah. Sure.
But that's okay. Numbers are great, but I think people kind of get distracted and they miss the point when they focus on that. It Seems like you're talking more about like the engagement and how kids truly loved Barney.
Well, and obviously that brought all the numbers. It brought everything. Right. That all comes if you can find what the kids love, right? But a lot of times we're doing it as an adult or we're doing it as a business. Kids don't see all of that, right?
No, thankfully.
No.
Right? Yeah. If you even if you'd have told me at that time that they would fall in love with that purple dinosaur as much as they did, when I took that job, it was a job at first, and very quickly did it turn into something else when I saw the power that purple dinosaur had and how much they loved him and believed in him, and he became their friend, and they learned to sing, and it was incredible. It was amazing.
Wow.
I always thought of Barney as and Barney showed up after my prime. I wasn't part of the target age group, but I appreciated it. I was definitely seeing Barney when I was my early years teaching preschool. I've been in it for coming up on 20 years now, but I always thought of him as this puppet, as a giant puppet, and a pretty simple puppet. I know it was advanced in the movement,
sure,
coordinated sound and movement, but a lot of my research has been in how if you have a very, very simple puppet, very little details, it doesn't have to be super fancy, young children and adults naturally project their own experiences. And if you believe in something, it becomes real to you.
Right.
Wow.
And on the other side, if you have real human beings on screen with that puppet, whatever it might be, and they truly believe in it, then it becomes real in both ways. And it becomes this like a communication tool.
Sure.
And I think it's way, way more impactful than the fanciest CGI. Like I know, there are those fancy films that have made me cry, because it seems so real and touching. But there's something about a human being. It's more than just something. I know what it is. There's a bunch of different names for it, but it's the soul, it's the spirit, it's our humanity. Like that, like what's happening right now. Like that's real, and kids naturally recognize that and feel a deeper connection to it. I believe.
Well, I did it as a kid, right? I loved Sesame Street and I loved Big Bird.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing, all those years later, I got to meet Carol Spinney and I got to work with Big Bird.
And like Carol Spinney, that is. Continue on.
I didn't stop smiling.
Yep.
And now I'm actually seeing all the behinds of, and how it works and all that. It didn't change for me. right? It was still Big Bird. As
Big
soon
Bird.
as
Yep.
Big Bird came alive, it's the same Big Bird. Because Carol had that heart that he had back then, and I was a little kid again.
Right.
It made me feel so good to see that the man was exactly what we saw on TV.
Yeah, right.
That importance, the authenticity. And that's what I love about doing Purple Roads, is that all these people that I brought on, that have brought together all these magical characters, are those people.
Wow.
Right? They have that heart. They are authentic. They're not faking it. They believe in what they're doing, and they love entertaining children and educating. So, and I see that with you, and that's why I wanted to have you on this show.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really does.
Wow.
So let's talk about here. I'm looking at this set.
Yeah.
You created this set, correct?
I did. Yeah. Well, so when I started researching how to do a kids show, I went back. I went way back to look at how they did it when TV was new. Like, these screens are still on the timeline, interactive screens. We're still smartphones.
Right.
I think we know what we're doing, but it's been a very short period of time. And obviously, we're still having some growing pains with it.
Right.
Figure out what's most appropriate. And I think that's what it was like when early TV, with Kugler, Fran, and Ollie, when they were just doing broadcasts from show to show. Bert Tillstrom wandering into the department store in Chicago, I'm forgetting the name, if it was Macy's or not, the fourth floor, and he saw this little studio set up, and he was like, "What's that? What's that?
Wow.
Do a puppet show? Yeah, go ahead, kid."
Right.
He just started playing. They didn't have any money. We don't. There's no funding going into this. But sure. I studied art, and I've got cardboard, and I'm real good at paper mache from my homeschool days. So I make all this stuff myself, and that's how they used to do it back in the day. And the added plus is, with the technology, I've got a supercomputer in my pocket that's a complete TV studio. I'm very privileged that I get to have that. If I didn't have that, I would just be out on the sidewalk doing it, or going from classroom. I do that too, going from classroom to classroom. But, we're doing it this way as well to connect to the screen.
Still.
But yeah, this is all, I made it. This is canvas. All the puppets that I make, the more fancier puppets now, were made out of clay. But I started with really simple ones. These were like...
Wow.
So you've got a few of them here for us?
Well, I got all of them here.
Wow.
This, like, the first ones were just good old sock puppets,
Wow.
And like I was saying, sorry for my ding.
Could you show us that sock puppet again? We had
Yeah, I'll bring them up. I was just so they're siblings.
Okay.
They're the sock siblings. They're twins.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and sometimes they get along, sometimes they don't. But these were, for years, the most popular puppets that I would use.
Wow.
They didn't always have the button eyes.
They kind of remind me of Sherry Lewis to me. But anyway, let's continue on.
This is Stanley and this is Stella. And sometimes they get along and sometimes they don't. And when I first bring out puppets, they don't talk. They're so abstract. They're so simple because I want kids to project. I want to know what they're feeling and thinking. So I just bring them real slow and I say, "How do you think they're feeling?" And then I just wait and it gets real quiet. And the kids start telling me a story, either with their words or with their actions. And I just make the puppets, do what they're doing. And eventually,
Sure.
over time, we develop these storylines where really we're like going into subconscious. And the other kids are helping to come up with these solutions of processing. So it starts real simple, and then I remembered when I was little, I would always play with my stuffed animals, and I kept my childhood teddy bear.
Wow.
This is Teddy.
Okay.
I have a teddy bear, which I mentioned on the LJPCBM episode 442. If you watch this, Luke is a cool guy. It's for you. Continue on.
But same thing. Teddy would come up slowly, and at first in the classroom I would just hold him like this, like when I was a kid. And I encouraged kids to do that too. But eventually we just made a little hole, make a simple puppet, really easy.
Wow.
And then same sort of thing. How do you think Teddy's feeling today?
We started to add a little bit of a voice to it. It took a while to find my voice because you don't always have the words to say how you're feeling. I know.
Yeah, just a really sweet little guy.
I'll bet that has a lot of impact to kids because it was your first.
Oh yeah.
And the relationship you have with it, I bet the kids, there's a lot of relationship there.
Oh, and that's it. It's a way to build some trust too. Like everything I do, like almost obsessively, I put a lot of thought into the layers of it.
Right.
Like when I first introduced Teddy, I tell a story about how I didn't always have the words. And in fact, when I was really little, and it's a true story, when I was really little and I was teething, when my teeth were up, the reason why Teddy's nose is, see how his nose is?
Yeah.
Because I was chewing on it to try to make myself feel better. I was crying, and my parents saw the way I was acting, and by watching closely the way that I was playing, they figured out how they could help me. Because play is a language. And I'm teaching that to the kids, but I'm also giving so many winks to the adults. Like, really listen, really watch how they're playing. They're telling you exactly how they're feeling. It's like you can see into their dreams. That's what play.
Wow.
So yeah, Teddy was part of that, and then I had some really simple puppets that I forgot to bring out, but there was a king puppet, and there was the farmer, like the basic puppet kit. Those evolved, and again, like the kids would do this, tell the stories, and the stories would reflect their realities, our shared reality. So we had this king puppet, and he would come up really slowly. The first time he came up, he was just like this.
Wow.
Didn't say a word, and I just said, "How do you think this puppet's feeling?" It was real quiet and just kind of looked around. Nobody knew what this puppet's personality was yet, and I will never ever forget it. But this little girl, right up front, just got real serious, and she put her finger up and she went, "You're not the boss of me."
Exactly.
And we explored that, and it was a whole thing about body integrity and you know, it's okay to speak up to adults and other kids. A little song came out of it. Kingsley would go, "I'm the boss of you, and I'm the boss of you. I tell you what to do, because I'm the boss of you. You're welcome."
It's like King Friday the 13th in style. Continue on.
Kids would sing back, "I'm the boss of me, I'm the boss of me. I take care of my mind and body, because I'm the boss of me." So a little bit of a strategy song. We play with that a little bit, but we try to go beyond that. Like it's not just telling kids what to think, but it's encouraging them to go through the process of thinking and finding their own answers. So it gets really complex. Like we spend so much time together. At one point, a little boy was like, "Hey, what happened to Kingsley?" King became Kingsley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kingsley, when he was little, where's his mommy? Like, why does he act this way? He's always bossing people around and telling people what to do. He doesn't listen. And what happened? And I was like, what an amazing kid, you know, and how empathetic, you know, and we started exploring that. And this season, you know, Kingsley is going to start, he's been doing some not cool things. And he gets to a point where everyone in our little community is like, "No, this is too much, and you need to take a time in." We say time in at Treehouse. We don't say time out.
Okay.
What?
Because timeouts, they don't really work. They might work for a little bit, but they might stop the immediate.
Sure.
They make everybody feel bad, and everybody, grown-ups and adults, or grown-ups and kids, and it just doesn't work.
Right.
And just switching it a little bit and saying time in.
That's just sad. Continue on.
Let's take a time in. Completely changes it. And then you talk about different ways to like breathe or blow up a balloon, rise above. So he's going to have a little time in. His mom, the queen, is going to come. We're going to have a parent-teacher conference. Some strategies. He's even going to meet with his feelings doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because, you know, we meet with our body doctors for checkups all the time.
Right.
But we don't really talk about feeling doctors too often. And I think it's really important for kids and adults to know that's important. That's normal. And we're going to try to understand what's up with Kingsley. What happened to Kingsley? Why does Kingsley behave this way? There's always
Isn't that more important now than ever? As we're going through feelings we've never experienced before, all of us are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always been these ups and downs. I don't know. I think I wasn't obvious. Not obvious. I don't know if it's obvious or not, but I wasn't around in the '60s. But I feel like there are these parallels
Sure.
with a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And I think we can learn a lot from our past. We also have to find our own way. Yeah, we're going through some stuff. Not just this week, but we've been going through some major growing pains, I think.
Right.
And to a degree, in early childhood, there's this thing called regression, where you get, if you're getting so overwhelmed and there's a big transition happening, you go back to younger behaviors, you know, wetting the bed, playing with the stuffy, crawling into bed at night, and often that can feel really frustrating for adults. Like, I thought we got through this.
Right.
All it is just going back to that safe place, which it's kind of like what I think of this show as. It's retro, but it's also kind of going back to a safe, familiar place for adults. Like the show is really a lot for adults too, so they feel safe and sound, so they can take care of their littles. But you regress so that you can go forward, you can spring forward, and I hope that's what's kind of happening right now, you know. Or at least I'm thinking of it that way to help.
And you're doing a daily show right now.
Yeah, we are. We've been through Facebook. We did it in the past. Our first official season, we would do live streams so that we could interact with families in real time through comments.
Right.
Talk to the screen, the parents would write it down. But then we wanted to make the production value a little bit nicer, so we started pre-recording. But this week we were like, we need to connect with the people we care about and hopefully reach some more. And it's been amazing. Like every day has been a reflection of what people are experiencing in real time, and we just play pretend about it. And we've gotten into some serious stuff, and we've kept it silly when we need to. And
right.
It's just very honest, and it's using the screen in a way that I don't think we've been able to use it in a really long time. It feels very natural. It's like this right now. You know, it's so in the moment.
Right.
There's no time to put on an act. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so it's been great, and people can, and we're going to keep doing that as long as we need to. And it's something I've wanted to do anyway. I've always wanted to have a daily show.
Sure.
It's a lot to juggle because we're also homeschooling our kids now and dealing with all the other stuff. But we show up every day 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. PST.
And we'll put all that information, the links and everything, where people can find that. So I want to talk about, we experienced this with Barney in our early days, how the costume changed over time. I know you've done that with your puppets. You've learned a lot in building your puppets. So tell me a little bit about those experiences.
So I wanted because I wanted that old school look, and I also wanted something really simple for kids to project onto. So originally I wanted to learn how to carve, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But that's a chore. That's tough. But I'm still working on that. But when I was at the Art Institute, I studied sculpture. So I sculpted all the puppet heads each weigh around 4 to 5 pounds. They're really heavy, so I use it as a stick. They're more of a stick puppet, and then I operate the fingers like that. I ended up doing 3D prints. I did a Kickstarter to create these lighter, more durable versions because they were also cracking, and I didn't want to lose them after a short period.
No,
sure.
And I'm doing stuff through the screen, but I go into schools all the time. I bounce all over Baltimore City, working with.
And you do a live version, right, of the show as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, you don't want to lose them. Yeah, that's why I was trying to say that. But that's just me. Continue on.
We started doing that at Black Cherry Puppet Theater, which is an amazing local puppet theater in Baltimore. Just an amazing gem. It's run by Michael Lamison. He's really well respected in the puppeteer community. And then we ended up getting good following. We were filling that space, so we recently moved over to the Creative Alliance, which is a visual art gallery and a performance space. And in the past, primarily, they've served adult audiences, which is a real variety of artists, very representational of the diversity of our city.
Right.
And now they're reaching out to do more family programs. So we just started doing it there, and they've got a nice big black box theater. and it feels like you're in a television studio. Like it feels like you're in a Howdy Doody
Oh,
studio.
that's great.
Wow.
We made little beanies for the kids with little feathers, little bird feathers, and we hand those out, and everybody has a little bag of popcorn, and they sing the songs together, and we record it there, and that's a lot of fun. Each like expression, like the stories are the same, the connection is the same, but what I've been learning is, platforms, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, the television in general, all those things are going to change over time, but what's not going to change is human beings.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what the platform is, live through in a theater or on the screen. Like, it's about what you're saying and being present.
Wow.
But so the puppets were very, very heavy. Did a Kickstarter and I did 3D prints. So this is it's kind of hard to see because it's bright, but this is Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. He's we say Ollie Ollie Oxenfree so he knows it's safe to come out and play. So Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, oh guy, that's me. He hasn't been painted yet, but he's based on the old school like Howdy Doody sort of characters,
Wow.
Ollie's been growing and changing. So again, all the storylines reflect experiences of our kids. So Ollie, very traditional farmer, in his little pocket here, he has a little kernel of hope, little corn kernel of hope. If you take care of it and you plant it and you share it, it'll grow and grow and grow. But it takes time. You gotta be patient. He hasn't been painted yet. This is what he originally looked like.
Sure.
He's been learning about identity and expression. And I work with kids who are experiencing that in their own lives themselves at a personal level, and then with parents and aunts and uncles. And some of the experiences are within family lessons of, I accept you. I love you in this moment, and we all grow and we all change over time, but I love you. I'm with you. I am ultimately with you. And then there are other experiences where, no, you are this. You are what I need you to be. This is who you are. And it's very complex. It's not right or wrong. It's this complex puzzle of life, right?
Yeah.
But lately we've been talking more openly as a country, I think, about identity and expression as it relates to lots of stuff, gender specifically.
Wow.
Sure.
With little kids, I think there's this knee-jerk reaction where we go straight to, why are we talking about sex stuff with little kids? That's not what identity and expression is about. It's about that inside piece of you, and beyond the thoughts and ideas and feelings, but the thing that's got all the different names, soul, humanity, whatever, who you are, and how you express that.
Sure.
Like, clothes, it's all made up. I could be in a skirt. It wouldn't matter. We made that up at some point.
Well, and that's where these shows, what I was so proud of with Barney and what I'm so proud of what you're doing is that message of unconditional love. Because those issues that you're talking about, especially at a young age, is very difficult. And so to be able to have shows and to have support and let them know it's okay and you're loved no matter what, it's just amazing.
Wow.
Thank you. I think so too. I respect so much what you all did. I mean, you laid a lot of the groundwork, really did. But yeah, so Ollie's got a new look. Ollie's slowly beginning a new look over the past two seasons. He's got an amazing preschool teacher, a real human being named Monica French, who's the director of Wild Haven, nature preschool here in Baltimore, right in the middle of the city. And Kingsley was saying, Ollie Oxenfree, you have to wear blue. Pink is for girls. And I said, I like how I feel. It reminds me of sunsets and cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So Ollie, started feeling more comfortable in wearing his pink. And now that doesn't mean that he's now more feminine or masculine. That's just what he likes. That's what Ollie likes. And then Ollie grew his hair out. And there was more pushback from Kingsley and some others too. Some others that are more close because it's not what they thought. But Ollie is the boss of Ollie. I'm the boss of me. And we try not to be preachy about it because it is so complex.
Right.
This song that we've been working on, it's kind of new, and we had talked about singing a couple songs, and I thought maybe I could sing all this stuff.
I love it.
Okay, so Ollie, we'll try out being Olive for a while, and I think eventually Olive might even just become O, but we'll have a pronoun song. But this is the beginning part of that. So it's I spy with my little eye 2 eyes and a nose, and I spy with my little eye your fingers and your toes, and there's something else that's deep inside that I can't quite yet see, but I'll try if you'll try, together you and me. I spy with my little eye your hair and your clothes.
Wow.
I spy with my little eye the freckles on your nose, and there's something else that's deep inside that I still can't quite see, but I'll try if you'll try, together you and me. It takes some time to discover all the gifts we have inside. It takes some time to realize you have nothing to hide. I spy with my little eye 2 eyes and a nose. I spy with my little eye your fingers and your toes, and there's something else that's deep inside that I think I'm starting to see. Be proud of who you are and be who you're meant to be.
Oh my.
I like that one. That made me feel pretty good inside. How about you? Thanks.
Well,
Yeah, thanks for asking.
that's such a great place to go with this. What have you found with the power of music and power of song to your audience?
A lot. So I was in theater, and I was a song and dance guy, and I did lots of musical theater stuff. But I've never really fancied myself a singer. Like I can sing a good lullaby, and that's what I think of these songs as. They're lullabies that parents can sing to their kids, and kids can sing to themselves. But there is that thing, like there are words, like if I said those same words, reciting them, they would carry power too.
Right.
But there's something about that sustained tone that it creates a vibration that connects here, you know? And that vibration, I was talking recently with a friend of mine, like people that don't hear, they can still feel that vibration, you know? Like there's there's this push and pull to it, you know? Like that triggers something, you know? Like it's our souls connecting, you know, or spirit, or whatever, you know. So many different beautiful human ways. I know I keep saying that, but I've been thinking about that a lot, you know. So much of our country and our world lately has been, I'm on this side and you're on this side.
Yeah.
You think this and I think this, then we must be at each other's throats. You know, it's like baseball teams or something.
Right.
It's crazy. Like we're so much more complicated. And now over this past week, we're all able to step back and get some perspective and be like, well, we are all absolutely in this moment together.
Yes.
We all have this shared thing that is beyond politics and stuff that is hopefully, you know, beyond early childhood, but can still impact early childhood too.
Right.
So yeah, that whatever that is, that's what I think about when I think of song, the power of song. Gee whiz, you guys know all about that. The songs that you sang, I mean, so many of them were so, you know, Barney happy, but there were also these deep episodes that, in a very simple and concise way, connected. I remember. Can you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I started out my career with Barney doing sing-along. So I would do a 30-minute sing-along, usually 2 or 3, all over the country to crowds from, you know, 25 to thousands.
Wow.
And it was the most incredible experience of my life. Because obviously I knew what songs were coming up. And, you know, songs like Airplane, flying in an airplane, looking at the kids all knew that, and they're all doing the same movements with you.
Right.
And, you know, You Are Special. And of course, the I Love You song. The emotion that I have seen over the years of that song is so powerful to see children go over in the middle of that song and hug their parent, give them a kiss on the cheek. And I've gotten so many messages over the years from parents going, I didn't get it until I saw that, until that happened.
Wow.
And, it's so funny. I've gotten this question so many times. Were you sick of that song? Oh, my gosh. The power of that song, I looked forward to it always. Yeah. Anytime you start singing about I love you. And, of course, back then, that wasn't common for people to say I love you. We're doing it much more today than we did back then.
Sure. It's still though, brother.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Well, and I think that's why we had such a pushback. And adults were like not getting it, but the kids, 100%.
Of course, right?
It's easy for kids to say I love you,
well,
right? Kids in their head.
There's all these layers, we're talking about all these layers, but we say how our inner child hasn't gone anywhere, or be going back to my childhood. We're still that person. We've just got all these experiential layers, and some are hard and some are a little softer, but a song, a certain movement, go right through it.
Well, you start the episode today singing your song, and I can't stop smiling. Like,
oh my!
How could you not smile during that song? And I love the emotions that come out of music.
Me too. And I'm glad that you brought up movement too, because that was such a huge, and still is such a huge part of my life. I know when I had a hard time communicating how I was feeling as a young adult, when I was really, really starting to appreciate the years of study of ballet and owning it. Like you really have, if at that time, and even now I think, if you're, again, going back to identity and expression, if you're, if you look like this, if you're in this shape,
right?
Ballet, there's some pushback sometimes, not all the time, but you become a little bit of a target. And I used to be teased a lot. And my uncles, we're from New Hampshire, and my uncles, they talk like this, Danny Joe, where are you going?
Wow.
And you gotta own it, Danny Joe. Who are you? You know who you are?
Wow.
Own it. Like, be who you are, and know.
Right.
You don't have to be tough about it. Just your confidence,
Sure.
And so that made me think. This is a little separate, but I just thought of my Uncle Greg. He used to say, and it kind of applies to this moment. Because we were in the woods, right, in the White Mountains of Mount Washington.
Right.
Most of the family's still there. Like, why do you want to go north of the Notch? Like that. We're still in it. Lumberjacks and the paper mill and, mechanic guys, and women. Oh my gosh. Strong women. But Uncle Greg used to say, Danny Joe, you never lost until you panic. And that was like in the woods, and I feel like we're in the woods. And if we just don't panic, stay calm and just close your eyes, take a breath, listen, you're going to figure it out. You're going to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Those messages are important, and I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny. My memory right now, as you're talking about this, is how my family and friends, when they first found out about me becoming this purple dinosaur.
Yeah, what was that like?
Barney wasn't, Barney, when I first started, there wasn't a TV show. So he was slowly becoming known. And we didn't have social media. We didn't have all those things we have today.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though years ago, I was like, okay, I figured it was time for me to change up a little bit. When it comes to these body things in the Ham 91, but that's just me. Continue on.
So we did this big concert in Dallas, Texas, where Barney's from Texas here, and the shows were sold out. 18,000 people per show. It was a 30-minute sing-along with Barney, Baby Bop, and BJ. And so all my family came and my friends. I got them tickets, and so they were all there.
Yeah.
And they had never seen it before. So they came in, here's all these families with kids, and then my friends with no kids, right? And look at exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I jump on stage and start performing these numbers, and they're thinking, what in the world is, going on?
Yeah.
So after the show, I had someone bring them all back so they could meet Barney. and they're still trying to figure it out because what I learned very quickly about playing that role is that as soon as you're in that costume, Carrie's gone. You become Barney, right? That's what the kids want. They want their friend Barney, so you become their friend. And so my friends come backstage, and I'm opening up for a hug. I'm treating them no different than anyone else. And here are these grown guys hugging Barney.
Yeah.
And then they got it.
Right.
And they saw the kids running to Barney, and they got it. And so I love that, teaching people, and I know you're doing that as well, that they wonder at first what you're doing, and then they see what you're doing. They see how the kids react, and they go, oh, I get this.
Right.
I get it. So
so whenever I use the puppets, like depending on what school I'm at,
yeah,
the thing that I was born into, like
sure.
it can be difficult to build trust, because being a male, depending on different individual kids' experiences and needs and abilities, a white privileged male, I'm tall or not huge, but
right.
So it can be kind of tough. Like you gotta keep showing up and be consistent.
Sure.
And I haven't achieved that with a lot of kids, but the kids have such deep relationships with the puppets, and I don't. I'm not like I don't do this stuff.
Right.
Like sometimes I do in different parts of the show if I feel like I'm a distraction, but I'm blatantly showing I'm the one doing the voice,
right,
talking about putting on the puppet and how it works, and then go do it, and then I'm gone. Like I'm not even there. Like where is he? This actually we'll go with this because we were talking about family. Come here, Graham. This one's based on every single one of my aunts. On the Labrecque side, we say ma tante. But like this is Graham Cracker. Hello, dear. How are you? Good to see you. You're welcome. And the kids, like, she will. If they could sit on her lap, like they would, And she's got her little granny pack here. That's where she keeps her love. She's got her sometimes Band-Aids and hard candies. Stuff like that. Safety pins.
Right.
If you have a splinter, she talks about those things. She doesn't actually. But yeah, she's just she's real tough. Yeah, she's a hun. How are you, dear? And then she ends every conversation with "Okay, bye." Like which is how all of my aunts do it. Like when they're done, they're just done, and the kids like they love her. And I'm not even there.
Right.
It's amazing. And
it's
a responsibility you cannot mess around with. Like like I've always said. Like I don't feel comfortable. Like even before recent changes with YouTube, like we never monetized or advertised, and there were a couple opportunities along the way that would have made things a lot easier.
Sure.
As a teacher with young kids, I know that, when back in the day when I would walk in, I'd have my lunch in classroom, and I'd bring out my red apple, and I'd be talking and eating it. Every single kid need an apple, like need it, like that.
Exactly.
That's influence.
Right.
So with what I'm doing, I'm really, really aware of, the power of that, and how it needs to reflect them and not my objectives.
Sure.
We talk about how to come to your own solutions more than this is what you need to think.
Right.
Got a little, like some strategies, but for the most part, here's a safe place to talk stuff out.
So I'm curious, how long does it take you to create these voices for these puppets?
Well, they've all kind of grown, and they're still growing. Like Kingsley, so when he, like I said, they don't talk at first.
Right.
But then I realized we needed to talk, so I think I need to be careful with referring to other characters. Maybe not. Do I? On stuff like this? I'll allude to it. So there was a Disney movie with a king based on a famous novel who used to suck his thumb and go like, no, that guy.
Oh my.
and I was doing that voice, and then it kind of hurt my voice, so I went up a little bit higher, and then someone told me it sounded like a sarcastic adult cartoon character baby. I was like, oh, I need to be careful of that, and then it went in a different direction, and it became what it is.
Wow.
And then it just kind of takes off sometimes, like the stuff that it's gonna sound like a crazy person.
No, not at all. Because this is. I mean, look, I was a purple dinosaur for 22 years. The creative process and how that's what's fascinating to people, because that's a lot of how it happens. You hear one thing and then you go here before you settle in where it ultimately becomes.
Yeah, and it's I think it's where it comes from. I think it's the subconscious. Like I'm also having a real time conversation and not knowing what's going to happen next when I'm switching parts, and it is like it's like the original peoples of Australia talk about dream time, the indigenous people of Australia, about this balance between our waking selves and our dream selves, and how the two influence each other. And it's like, when you go to sleep at night and your subconscious takes over and helps you process daytime stuff, and it's weird, but you're just working through it.
Wow.
And it forms your next day, and there's this cycle of dream time. And I think in play with young kids, they do it all the time. That's why I say, if you look really closely at how a kid's playing, you're looking into their dream, you're looking into their subconscious. You know how to help them, what they know, what they don't know, how to guide a little bit. We do it too. We just don't play that often anymore. So I'm so thankful that I get to play with dolls, because it's my subconscious. I'm working so too. It's an amazing process. Mm-hmm. So to answer the question, I don't totally know where the voices come from. I influenced from shows that I remember when I was a kid, voices that my family members would do. Sometimes kids come up with voices, and I just follow their lead. Lots of different places.
So, how many seasons have you done of Danny's Joe's Treehouse?
We were just starting to film season 3.
Okay.
Before coronavirus. We did get one in the can, and we just released it today.
Okay.
So there's one pre-recorded episode for season 3 that's up now, and I'm not sure the rest of them. And then we're doing the daily thing now. And then before that, I would do things with my smartphone. I have collections of research for parents where I did a couple of research trips to the Fred Rogers Center in Latrobe. Especially when one of the big things I was trying to understand, starting back in Chicago, was helping children who were dealing with gun violence in firsthand experiences and secondary experiences, and how to address that without overwhelming or triggering or exposing, a child who hasn't had that experience, like that delicate dance. And I knew Fred Rogers got into heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So I got the opportunity to go there and go into the archives and look at some of the original scripts. And I talked to Jen Lee, one of the professors there, and we just talked out different methods, and a lot of it was about abstracting reality to make it safe for exploration. So the focus was on gun violence then, and the episode from season 2, we brought on one of the guests. Her name was Erica Bridgeford, and she works with Baltimore Ceasefire. She was an early childhood educator. She's a social worker. Whenever someone has been shot and killed in our city, she goes to that space and she creates it. She attempts to turn it into a sacred space by just reminding people how important human life is through just a variety of creative ways. So we took that and we abstracted it, and we were talking about blowing bubbles and how you put your air into the bubble, and when it pops, it's still there, and how we can be together, and even if you lose control and you hurt another and you go into this dark place, like Teddy lost control and he was waving a stick because he saw Kingsley waving a stick at these birds in the sky. And Teddy did the same thing. He was influenced, and he accidentally tore Kingsley's fake wing because Kingsley wanted to fly in the sky too. That's
right.
Yeah. But then he felt so bad that he lost control, and he was bad. He was down deep in his tree. I'll pull the tree over in a second.
Sure.
He was experiencing this depression. He was bad.
Right.
He felt bad. And Erica came in and said, "I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to give you answers, but I am going to let you know that you're not just bad. You made a mistake, and you were upset, and you can come back. That's not the end of the story." Like, we weren't just looking at it from the side of victim. We were looking at it from the other side too, and all of us as a community. And it was real abstract and safe. So if you had that type of experience, it was very therapeutic to see. And if you hadn't had that type of experience, it was like this meditation. It was really soothing. We got so much good feedback from that because we really embraced silence. We didn't talk a whole lot during it at all. But this is what Teddy's tree looks like. I can tell you to say something. I don't want to.
No. I'm dying. I was gonna say I'm ready to see the tree.
Okay. One second. It's made from one of those big construction tubes.
Wow.
And tons of paper mache and burlap and glue and paint.
Wow.
There's the tin can. David Newell was he was the first guest for our first official season. And he came and we talked about how I really like my phone, but it's just this thing. It's a tool like a stick or a stone or anything else. You decide how to use it. You can use it responsibly or not. So he helped us to make these tin can phones.
Oh, those are great.
This is what connects us to every guest that comes into the treehouse.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But Teddy, so there's this hole on the side here where my hand goes in.
Okay.
And then Teddy comes in this way, off the side.
Wow.
And I'm usually off screen for these sort of engagements, but here he was deep down in his tree, and he there's a yellow banner, like a police tape, but it said time in, and eventually he was able to come out and just be with Erica, but he's gonna spend time with a feelings doctor as well.
Wow.
His depression. Like, we want to show that that's normal. That's okay.
Sure.
To talk.
Oh, I love it. No, I love it. It's just amazing what all you've done.
Thank you.
Well, it has been just a blast to have you on today and to spend this time with you.
Thank you. It was great to spend this time with you too.
Do you mind singing another song for us before we finish up?
Yeah, I'd really like to. I'm not going to worry about pulling up another puppet because this is
okay
for you, Gary. This is a song that we came up with two seasons ago, and it started off because we wanted to talk about the outside stuff and the inside stuff.
Right.
Wow. Your thoughts and ideas and your feelings, they don't have a color at all. Your thoughts and ideas and your feelings, can't see those at all. When you stand, when you fall, short, medium, or tall. Thoughts and ideas and your feelings, can't see those at all. Be proud of the way you look on the outside. Be proud of your hair, skin, and eyes. Be proud of the way you look on the outside. Sometimes we all laugh, and sometimes we all cry. Your thoughts and ideas and your feelings, they don't have a color at all. Your thoughts and ideas and your feelings, can't see those at all. When you stand, when you fall, short, medium, or tall. Your important thoughts and your brilliant ideas and your precious feelings, they don't have size, and they don't have a shape, they don't have a color at all. The only way somebody knows what you're like on the inside is by spending time with you, playing with you, and working with you, and talking with you. I'm really glad that I got to spend this time with you, Carrie.
And speaking of which, he's kind of remind me of Fred Newman in style. Continue on.
Everybody else that might be on the other side of the screen and it feels like we're really looking at you right now.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for both me and Carrie. We are. Like, we see you. We might not literally see you right now, but we're with you, and you should know you're not alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Danny. To all the Purple Roads fans, remember to keep your eyes, ears, and your heart open, and you'll find your Purple Road. Can't wait to see you next week, but I'm so glad we got to have this time today, Danny. And we will have the links to all of the things that you have going on so we can get the Purple Road fans to come check out Danny's Treehouse.
There's all are welcome at Danny Joe's Treehouse.
Yep.
See you later, Gator.
So that was Purple Roads, episode 17. What do I think about this episode? It was amazing. So far, this episode went to be a success. Anyways, guys, that was episode of LJPCBM episode number 443. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be LJPCBM episode 444. Purple Roads, episode 18, Duffy aka Scooter. Till next time, so Jerry's goodbye, peace out, baby. Get more to react, we guys very soon. Till then, LJPCBM out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time.